Sup, this is Kedrick, the head trip. There's a harassment complaint over what is, in fact, free speech. I called out a crooked cop who's apparently exploiting and violating an autistic woman because she ran away from a group home again. She has repeatedly ran away from group homes, including this one, and I'm expected to believe she's safe there now. If not for me intervening, the cops would have dragged her into an ambulance, and I'm expected to believe she would make the mistake of consenting to a so-called relationship with a cop. Yeah, right. It's non-consent. This cop's a predator. Andrew Lindberg of the Middletown Police Department is quite obviously violating this woman who ran away from a group home so abusive. The predators there tracked her phone. That's how they knew where to send her, to commit her, and have her sent back to the group home she runs away from. She's forcibly drugged. The creepy CEO, Justin Salvio, said, "That's between her and her psychiatrist." A sadist. This doctor is a drug pusher, not merely a dealer. This is not taking no for an answer. I know this woman's unwilling to use those drugs because she told me. She described that group home as like a concentration camp. And I'm expected to believe she's safe there now. I'm not buying it. And even if she had made the mistake of consenting to that so-called relationship with a cop, the fact that he's a cop and she's autistic and rotting at a group home she runs away from means that the so-called relationship would still be inappropriate. I know she doesn't consent, and even if she had made that mistake, I don't blame victims. That so-called relationship is quite obviously inherently wrong. It's sickening. The CEO, Justin Salvio, interrupted me with a variation of, "I know you are, but what am I?" when I called him to condemn him for being so creepy that he oversees a group home that a woman ran away from because that's how severe the abuse is, and they tracked her phone. She didn't go AWOL. She told them she was discharging herself. And she's not probated to the group home or anything like that. She told them, and they still tracked her phone to abduct her. And as for the rationale that if she had been dragged into the ambulance, then the cops would have been just doing their job, the fact remains that she would have been severely injured if they had dragged her into an ambulance. The reason she didn't get severely injured is because I intervened, because I wasn't about to let them drag her into an ambulance. And then shortly after, there's this so-called relationship with a cop she said was not that serious yet. And then she disappeared, stopped using social media for months, and when she finally resumed posting on Facebook, there was only one friend on her list, and it was a fake profile. That crooked cop, Andrew Lindberg, wouldn't let her have any friends on Facebook. It's not even real life. It's Facebook. And he wouldn't say his real name. He was using an alias, and that was the only friend on her list. And her posts were what he was forcing her to post. It was really quite sickening. It's not even specific to her exes or to dudes. She had to block everybody except this one fake profile. And what she was posting publicly was quite alarming. And, you know, these are all indicators of some really terrifying abuse. That creepy CEO was telling me some crap about women fleeing to group homes. This woman runs away from group homes. She fled from group homes, not to them. And he interrupted me and said all sorts of crap about clients flee from abusive male partners and they flee to us. Why stoop so low? Like, I called him to condemn him because of the terrifying experience when a woman got abused so severely that she ran away and got forced back in because the creeps are tracking her phone. And he says some nonsense about fleeing to group homes, like anybody would want to suffer like that. And, you know, simply talking to this guy really gave me the creeps. Like, I could sense something's terribly wrong. I have that instinct to sense something's terribly wrong. So yeah, Andrew Lindberg is crooked, and Gilead Community Services is a really terrible company, running some really terrible group homes, and something's wrong here, and there's a risk that I could get arrested for publicizing this information because there's a harassment complaint. That's absurd. It's just, free speech isn't harassment. I'm telling the truth. And who would I be harassing? The creeps at a group home who abuse the so-called clients so severely that they'll run away? I've been abused so terribly at group homes that I would have fared better in the woods or something, except I couldn't leave because of conservatorship due to the probate courts. There was a conservator of person, and I'm the legend who got out of group homes. That's like unprecedented. Contrary to what that creep Justin Salvio said, they don't help clients achieve independence. If that were true, then the so-called clients wouldn't be running away and getting forced back in by these creeps who track their phones. There was some really terrible abuse at the group homes I was at, and the whole time I knew the situation is even worse for women. The fact that there's such facilities as group homes where all the so-called clients are women means that the dudes working there are predators. Like, that's what happens. In many or perhaps most cases, these group homes for women really include such terrible abuse that a lot of them are forced prostitution rings or something really creepy like that. This guy, Justin Salvio, oversees a group home that terrible. And he tries shifting the blame to me. And now I'm accused of harassing the creeps at that group home, and I'm accused of harassing this crooked cop who's violating a woman because she ran away from a group home again. Yeah, this is atrocious.